A very good Saturday evening to all of you, and welcome to the third episode of Career Ownership Podcast. My name is Purav. I am the founder of Career Ownership Hub. The purpose of Career Ownership Hub is to empower mid career professionals, gain clarity and confidence in their career journey, navigate their career journey the way they want, and stop running the race. I have been through this journey, and that's why I say that if you are not taking charge of your journey, then you are only running for average results. And that is why I started Career Ownership Hub to help professionals like me. I have been through the journey, I have come out of the journey. I don't want you to quit the journey, but I want you to be the director of your journey and not just a character. And with this purpose, I started this career ownership podcast where I plan to invite industry leaders, share their insights, share how the industry is going, how the job market or how the way the people approach the job market, how is it changing? What careers are good, what profiles are good, and how what actions you should take to get into a exponential growth trajectory. So today, the third episode of Career Ownership Podcast, and I have another wonderful guest with me here on this evening. Her name is Gauri Das. She is a very senior leader in the industry, a senior vice president and head of HR at India Factoring and Finance Solutions Private Limited, a member of the FIM Bank Group. She is a highly respected professional with over 16 years of experience, with a very unique story. An engineer turned HR professional, comes from a very small village in the country, but since many years, she is one of the most popular influencers on LinkedIn. I wanted her to share her experience in her journey about her transition and how are platforms like LinkedIn helping her grow in the journey. So without further delay, I would just welcome Gauri Das on this podcast and also thank her for being here with me on a Saturday evening.
Hi, Purav.
Hi Gauri, just a moment. Why don't I see you on the screen? Give me one moment. I'm facing some. I don't see you on the screen. Can you see me on the screen?
Yes, I can see, and I can see myself also on the screen.
Now it's perfect. I was just setting up the frame. So thank you so much, Gauri. It's wonderful that on a Saturday evening, on a I would say on a holiday, you agreed to be here, and we are meeting for the second time on such a podcast, right?
Yes,
The purpose is almost similar, but you know what? The target audience that we have for the podcast today is different. Earlier, we met for the students in their journey from campus to the corporate,
correct.
but today this is for a more important and something which I resonate with my journey, the mid-career professionals.
Okay,
So
so more matured audience.
more matured audience having a different kind of challenges in their journey,
Yeah.
and I want you to share about how can they drive their journey. But before we begin, okay, I do remember your story about your transition from, I assume it is village from Madhya Pradesh. If I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but
Yes, you got a very good memory.
yes, so from a small girl from a village in Madhya Pradesh coming to the city, not confident, always thinking things are not possible. But then she also coined a word called the possibilitarian. Right, Gauri? Hope I'm right with this.
Yes, possibilitarian body is my hashtag.
Is your hashtag. And she's a two-time TEDx speaker. Gauri, I'm just sharing what I could remember from your LinkedIn profile and whatever we discussed. But I would like to ask you about your career journey, your transition from engineering to HR, and what were the challenges that you have been through in your journey, and what were your learnings?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me here for the second time, because if you are invited second time, it shows that your thoughts add value. So thank you so much for it. And I really loved what you said. Be a director in your journey, not a character. So I'm going to use this because it is it's very wonderful. And in such a or I would say in few words, it indicates what exactly we should do in life. So thank you for giving me that praise and giving this phrase to our audience also. Hi everyone. So yeah, my journey from engineering to HR. So I would first say, why did I go to engineering? Because like you rightly said, small village, no exposure, so we had no idea beyond engineering and medical. And my handwriting and my drawing extremely poor, so I thought medical I should not attempt. Anyways, I would not be able to do it because of drawing. So I came to engineering because third profession pata hi nahi hota tha. So when I came here, but now I understand this. Back then I had no idea. I was not enjoying that, but there was no word called as enjoying what you are doing. You had to do whatever you were doing. Today we talk about passion and enjoying and whatever. So I heard someone saying, even if you are not enjoying even 10% of what you are doing, then it's better to do something else or look for something else. So for me, the transition happened because there was a paper on management, and a professor encouraged me that you may be doing better in management rather than sitting in front of a computer and coding. And that's why I transitioned. I went for management. But yes, the journey was not easy, not because of engineering or management or anything, because of overall thought process. So I would say the first thing that can stop our growth is our mindset. So my mindset was, I'm coming from a small village. I have no idea how things work in a metro or a large city, and I would not be able to succeed here or do anything here. So that was first big difficulty. Second was, in India, English is whole of communication skill. English and communication skills are not two different things. And English started for me in sixth standard, so I had no idea on English, and that became another impediment. More so because I started my journey from northeast, Guwahati, and वहाँ पे Hindi is not usually spoken. It's either SMEs or Bengali or English. So the third language is English, but the first two I definitely did not know. So language became another barrier. And third was low in confidence, because uh, first few years you have no idea what you are doing. It was difficult for me to even speak to people. So when my first psychometric report was done, I think 2 years or 3 years into HR, it threw some conclusion that I need to do a lot of work on myself, and I had a very good boss at that time who supported me. So top three challenges, but only challenge if I have to say is mindset.
Yes, yes. This is a common thing across. And you use something, you said, Puro, because I come from a small village, engineering was the only thing known to me. You know what? This is not about the village.
Ah,
It's across. There are only two things, engineering or medical.
yeah,
Okay. And you go with one of them.
correct.
And that is the same story. I'm so confident that is the same story for 95% of the people, that we go with the flow and we take whatever is coming on the way.
Yes.
And that's where we begin our journey as a character of our journey. We want to be the hero of our journey by getting influenced by others and then doing something which makes them happy. So we want to be the hero, but not for us. And that's where I was able to realize that a hero has to act as per the director, as per the story writer. And that is the director. If you have got one life, let's write the story. Let's not others write our story, and let's not live to make them happy. That
And
is
if
what
the story,
makes.
yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry, please. Yeah, I was saying, if the story has already been written, then let's rewrite the story our way.
Obviously, we should rewrite the story, and this is what even I realized in my mid-career journey, that when I look back, I was running, and everybody said do engineering. I did engineering. Then said do MBA. I did MBA. then say you should get a job. एक बार job मिल गई, life is set.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got a job, the day I got my first salary, start saving for a retirement. क्या होगा फिर रिटायरमेंट के बाद? कौन, अगर तबीयत खराब होगी तो पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? So it's always running. You always have a target, and you don't grow with the target, but you run for the target.
Yeah, true.
And this, unfortunately, our mid-career journeys have become like this. We want all the benefit of the next generation, but we are not able to change the mindset. We are with the mindset of the previous generation of securing the future. We want to secure. We want a secure job. We want a secured saving. We want everything to be secured. And that's where I realized that something has to be changed. So
Yes.
that's where this whole concept of ownership and getting along with like-minded people like you also came into being. So what I know, Gauri, is that you have been into HR for quite some time, and since many years. I mean, earlier the disruption, there was no disruption, there was evolution. But since
Yes.
last 10 years, there has been disruption in the technology, disruption in the business models, disruption in the way, definitely way people behave, but the way the approach towards job or the selection criteria has also changed. So what is the impact of this disruption on the way that you recruit people, or what do you see in your new employees, especially in the mid career phase?
Yes, rightly said. There has been a lot of change, and like you said, job mil gayi, life set is so. The number of candidates or the pool of candidates was also very limited. People were not as mobile. People were not expecting so many things. Now, client expectation has also reached roofs. We can blink it and we can get things done. So, because of all the dynamics changing in society, business has changed because what your customer wants, you have to give it to them. And that's where the workplace has also changed. And yes, the technological disruption, you rightly said, it is not a change, it's a disruption because the pace of change is very, very high. So, even in the hiring scenario, a lot of things have changed. So far, the technical skills were like topmost priority, and you
Mhm.
could get away with only technical skills. You can be a jerk as a manager, but you would be able to thrive, not only survive. Now,
Mhm.
even the survival would be difficult if you are not having leadership skills. So, one change, and especially at middle management levels, because most of the time they would be managers, they will be managing a team. So, how, I mean, I even ask people in interviews that tell me three things that you hate about a boss and three things that you like about a boss, because I need to then match the person with whom this candidate is expected to work. Will there be an alignment? And it doesn't stop there. Then there is a psychometric test to check the alignment, a psychometric test to understand what they said in the story, sharing while they were giving interview, is that connected or not. There are assessment centers now. References also have reached a different level. So far you will give us, and we will evaluate the references. Now it's industry reference. What you are doing on social media, that also play a very important role. All, and especially since I come from banking, even the compliance has become very, very important. You would
Mhm.
have read probably that RBI said no for a particular candidate for a particular
Mhm.
position. So what you are doing through your journey also has become very, very important because data is available everywhere. So a tremendous change in the way we used to look at recruitment then and recruitment now. Technology definitely has also improved the candidate experience and made things easy at our end also as HR. Yeah.
Okay, but you said a lot of things. I mean, so if somebody is preparing for an interview, okay, I'm asking a question which I think I might not, you might not be able to give me the exact answer, but based on your experience, if I tell them what are the top three questions as a mid-career professional they should prepare for, because earlier it was like I need to be technically sound to crack the interview, but now, as you rightly said, it is technical skills
Any number of things, yeah.
survival, but soft skills help you grow.
Yes.
So, if I ask you what could be the top three most common questions that you would ask a person as you begin the interview?
Yeah, so you rightly said every interview is different and every interviewer is different. So even if I am interviewing, though we do have a match of questions, there will always be a benchmarking on same set of questions with the panel, because there will be multiple rounds of interview during this phase. I mean, when you are at middle management level, but every resume is different. So you may ask a different question to everyone, but yes, basically what I would like to understand is the cultural fit. So I would try to understand, asking questions which can tell me whether values are aligned or not. For me now, that has become very important, because there have been cases, and all of us have seen that a particular employee is very good at his or her work, but when it comes to managing the team or managing brand reputation or anything, something like that, they falter, and you cannot accept a candidate like that. So technical things have already been checked, or if HR round is first round, then they will be checked later. But from HR perspective, it is mostly on what is your ambition. That is second thing that I ask, because if you are not sure about your dreams, if you have no ambition, there is no fire in the belly, then I would think twice. It's not that you want to have everybody in the organization who is a top performer, because retention also is a question mark. You need to have stability also. So that is another thing. And third, I would ask about learning agility, because that has become extremely critical today. Things are changing every single day. Like, I started my career with leave and attendance management, and for many years I did it as part of other things. But now even trainees are not doing, because there are machines to do it, right? So learning agility would be third thing. So it's cultural match, the values, it's the learning agility, it's your resilience, that would definitely come in picture at the time of HR interview with me.
Thank you so much, Gauri. These are extremely important inputs because majority of the mid-career professionals today, uh, they are still, including me. I was of the mindset that if there is an interview, I should be technically clear,
Mm.
and if I'm technically sound, I'm through. But
Yeah.
I have faced a few interviews where the first question was, "Puro, tell us something about yourself."
Mm.
And believe me, that was a question where I think they have taken the decision of not taking me or having me in. Because after 10, 12 years of experience, I was having the same introduction of myself: mechanical engineer, MBA in marketing, this many years of experience, this is what I have done. So, I mean, there are some questions which people don't even realize how significant are they, and when they are started getting evaluated by the interview panel. And as you rightly said, it's more about the values, because now it impacts, not even now, but now there is a global impact.
Impact.
Everything is visible. And the retention, I like that you are not always looking for top performers. That is also very important, that it's not about are you a top performer or not, because retention, you also want team members, you don't always
Yeah.
want team leaders. So thank you so much. This is actually giving a lot of clarity, and we have some comments like great insights, Gauri. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
From
Jay.
so Gauri, one more question. In my community, in the career ownership of community, I have got many people who have a career gap. Okay.
Hmm.
Now that is because of multiple reasons. Sometimes it is a planned gap, and they are not able to get back on track.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is a layoff. Sometimes it is they are fired because of some mistake. Okay. Or sometimes it is restructuring.
Correct.
So how do HR look at the people with a career gap, or what is your perception when people with career gap are appearing for an interview?
Yeah, so thankfully things are changing in HR also, and for managers also. Uh, to my own experience, I have taken two breaks. Both were planned. For women, it's still considered, because for family, for kids, there will be breaks. But yes, there was a lot of stigma attached so far. But now at least you will get an interview. things are improving for a lot of organizations, and there is so much discussion on, even on LinkedIn. Every second day you will read a long thread on what's happening in the break. And also because when people are taking break these days, they are not fully out of touch with what they do. So there is a break, but they still try their hands on certain things which are relevant. Somebody will go for volunteering, or somebody will do some freelance work in whatever time they have, because there are so many opportunities. पहले ऐसा होता था, either you are employed full time or you are not doing anything at all. Now things are changing, so there is gig work also, and that's why breaks have are not as not looked down upon as badly as they used to be earlier. But yes, you may come across certain interviewers who will have a thought process that anybody who has taken a break is not good enough for their organization. So there are so many organizations, there are 8 billion people in the world. If one is not working out, move on. There will be many others who will be taking you. So to summarize this, I would say, if it is a coming back from break, be prepared. If it is code, start coding. Just not just take certification, but do the real work. If it is you are coming back for HR perspective, do some freelancing work, even if it is not paid pro bono thing, but do
Mm,
certain things, improve your skills. Breaks would not be as bad as if you come back, try to come back without doing anything.
mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Because you
that
will
makes a
have
lot of
some
sense.
experience from the community. Yeah.
The only problem, so I will come to that, but what I like what you said is there are 8 billion people, okay?
Mhm.
And to all the listeners, in case you are someone who is going through a career gap, the only thing you should do is you should not stop trying.
Mm.
If you are focused on a very small sample size, then you might end up not getting through it. So you have to expand your horizons, and you have to start taking actions in all direction. Something has to click. And
Yes.
when a HR says that, even they are in the phase of changing their thought process, which is normal, which is happening now. So please start taking actions. Gauri, what is happening is that when people are out of job, now India is a country where, like, if you don't have a job, then there is more than a individual pressure, it is more societal pressure.
Mm. Yes.
घर पे क्या कर रहा है? So
Correct.
I have got my mentees who have lost hopes, and now that is a problem with the mindset.
Hmm.
They think that breaks are bad. So I want to give this message that breaks are, I mean, when it is inevitable, you have to accept it. It is not good or bad, it is just a phase of your journey. And what I have also realized is that a 35 years of career, you need not be working 35 years. You must take breaks. You must take breaks. There is no rule that you cannot be out of job. So please continue trying. But a few important pointers which I have just shared: keep upskilling yourself. Keep
Yes.
upskilling by implementation, not by gathering certificates.
Mm.
Certificates are good to keep in the cupboard. And this
Correct.
is a strong message which I give to my mentees and to the entire community, that when things are easily available, it has no value. Unfortunately, this is happening with the certificates.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Very
it's a
true.
it's a law of marketing. When the supply is high, the demand is less. So rather than focusing on certificates, please focus on implementing and share your practical stories on the platform rather than sharing your certificates. So thank you so much, Gauri. This is a very important topic, and it was not planned, but I it suddenly struck me that I should ask this question to you about the career gap, which has become a phobia for many people.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
And there are people who, like I said, that you will get people who will not accept it, but don't make that a rule. That can, you
yes,
should consider it as an exception.
yes, obviously, that has to be considered.
Yeah.
With we talked about the technical disruptions, Gauri, right? Digitalization is coming, data science is coming, and one thing which I have realized is that uh, even without having any knowledge about data science, people keep running after data science certifications. That Puro,
Yes.
this is a trend, which, in my opinion, I tell them, please don't run after trends, have strategies. But as an HR, do you expect that when people you interview mid-career professionals? Why I use the word mid-career professionals? Because we are people who are not willing to change a lot. We want to do
Mm,
the same. We have been doing the things. So, do you
yes.
expect the mid-career professionals to come with uh, a kind of a topping, like icing on the cake of AI or some knowledge on digitalization?
See, some understanding about AI is or technology. I would rather put it in a
Larger.
generalized,
Hmm.
yeah, is very very essential because even if your core system, for example, you in any organization there will be a core system. If you do not have any understanding of technology, you would move away from that. Forget that, your even your HRIS, your basic things also run on technology today. So you want to travel, you will have to book it on your own. A lot of things have changed. Gone are the days when you will call the admin guy and they will book it for you. So general understanding about technology is critical, and I would expect people to know that. It's just like एक time per Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel were important. Today this understanding is important. It's not that you need to know the coding language or you
Hmm.
need to have a deeper understanding about it, but how it impacts your role, what kind of changes or possibilities can be created with the help of technology. You should definitely know that, otherwise you will not be able to add value, because technology and people are only differentiated today. So if your people know technology, they bring in that and they make you champion of what you are doing. So yes, I would say definitely it's required.
Exactly. So for all those who are listening, okay, at least how technology is impacting your domain, you should be aware about that piece of technology. You should not try to be an expert in that technology. You should be aware of how it is impacting your domain. Because if you don't do that, then you become obsolete very soon. Okay. So, Gauri, as I go ahead, somehow I am able to recall, I am able to get the right questions. Uh, there has been a hype about the ATS resume. Okay.
Hmm.
And when I talk to people, they ask me, Puro, will you design a ATS based resume for us?
Hmm.
Okay. I have an opinion, but before I share my opinion, I would like to listen to you in the mid career journey. What is the significance of a resume which is ATS compliant?
Like you asked me before, how things are changing with AI. So HR has also adapted to AI, right? And because of that adoption, and it's a fact of life or requirement of life as well. When you post one vacancy, you get say 1,000 profiles.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
it's not humanly possible for any team, because HR teams would not be there, will not be one person or 10 people sitting just to sift through those profiles. So what we will do is we will rely on AI's judgment most of the times, because 1,000 profiles it's not possible to open and check, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
most of them would be not relevant, because people will not look at the years of experience. I have seen cases where you call for technology oriented role and somebody from sales applies. I mean,
Hmm.
no connect, never worked in a technology company, no exposure, no education, but they still apply. 12 years experience, you if you say minimum, people with 2 years also apply. So you cannot practically go through everything. That's why you need to rely on judgment of AI. Now if you have to rely on judgment of AI, then if you are not bringing in those keywords, AI has a limited understanding, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
can filter out your profile. It will give ranking 5 and 4, and we will mostly pick up 5 and 4. Sometimes even that is not very very relevant. But like I said, the numbers are huge, and that's why you need to have something in place. However, I would also say that when it comes to specific key sets and all, ATS may not be at all used. Even that is
Mhm.
because we are talking about mid-level professionals. So many times ATS would not be into picture because the numbers would not be very high. So people would like to rely on their judgment. So dono hota hai, but the volumes are really huge, and that's why you need to rely on ATS, and that's why you need to have those keywords and ATS
Mm.
compliant.
Okay.
How has been your experience?
So it was my experience also, and it was my thought process also. The second piece of your answer.
Yes.
Then when it is about the mid-career journey, okay, you are looking for specific
Correct.
skills, and you are also looking a lot for the background,
Yeah.
because now you are getting someone who is who is going to hold a position which can impact.
Correct.
So in those cases, what I thought, and this is how I also try to explain to my community, that
Mm-hmm.
when there are 1,000 resumes, it has to be ATS.
Mm.
But in the mid-career journey, in the mid-career vacancies, there are a handful of resume. The HR would also not risk
Correct.
to scan it through ATS system, because
Yeah.
anybody can put the keywords.
Yeah.
Whether I have it or not, I can put the keywords. I can create a ATS compliant resume irrespective of my skills.
Hmm.
So
And
is
hota hai wo. Practically it happens, yes.
practically it happens. So
Yeah.
what I feel is that don't get so much carried away with this ATS thing,
Hmm.
and don't assume that ATS हो गया तो मेरा resume ready है. Okay, it is about the job description, and in fact, what I also feel is that when it is mid career journey, your resume should not reach first. You should reach first, and then the resume. So you should first network. You should first talk. You should first try to understand what it is, and then you might come to the resume, because if you still rely completely on the resume, which majority of the people today with career gaps, they continuously keep applying on naukri.com, on yahoo.com. I said, if you are into the mid career journey, please start building a network. And
Yeah.
from resumes to referral, this is something which I just could think that from you have to move from resume to referral. So don't rely on resumes, but start creating references. And references is not only of the known people. If you start networking on LinkedIn, maybe in a month you can get 10 more people who will know you and who can
Correct.
then refer you. So utilize the platforms. And this was something which I wanted to come to next. The way LinkedIn, how can, I don't want to explain anything, I don't want to give any background or my understanding, but I want to ask you, how can LinkedIn help in career growth? For example, how can LinkedIn help me get a promotion? How can LinkedIn help me change my profile? Or how can LinkedIn help me change my job?
See, what is LinkedIn? So LinkedIn is a platform where people come from across the globe, and it's a wonderful or phenomenal platform for networking, learning, connection building. And I think LinkedIn can help in most of the things that you mentioned, but it's how you use it. Many
Yes.
people use LinkedIn when they are looking for a job, so they come here to apply for a job. And it's true that LinkedIn started with being a replacement for any other job portal, but that's not how it actually operates. So the thought process that you need to be here only at the time of applying is not right. Like you rightly said, connect with people, network with people, be here, and if you come here, then you can connect with anyone every in the across the globe, right? I still remember when we were studying, we had some very good names in HR, who's like Dave Ulrich. We read about, or we used to read his books, and now here he is responding to each comment that you write to him.
Hmm.
So this is how you can connect with anyone, a different country, a different league, but he's still responding. So uh, you can do anything with LinkedIn, but how do you use it? Say, for example, at least 5 to 6 or sometimes 10 requests in a day I receive that I am looking for a job. Can you look something for me? Now 10 people reaching out every day, how can I look for a job for you? So when
Hmm.
you're to someone on LinkedIn, you need to be very careful what you are doing. People don't even share their resume. They will just say, please look at my LinkedIn profile and see if you can look for a job for me. Now, I am not a job searching agency who would go and buy, and it is not possible humanly also. Even if I try to support, it can be one or two people, but it cannot be so many people. So how do we use it is very important. Second, your thought leadership is also critical. What do you do with LinkedIn? It's not that you need to, everybody needs to post and that's how they will create it. You will see there are very strategic people who will just come to your post and talk about it, and you will start liking and you will start posting within. So many connections I have got like that. That the thought process resonated, they were authentic in what they were saying, and the connection immediately hits off. So you can achieve all of it, what you mentioned, Pura, but how are you using it is very important. It's not a job search platform. It's a, I would say, thought leadership building, learning, networking platform. So use it that ways, and byproduct would be a job search. That's how
Exactly.
I would put LinkedIn.
No, no, very rightly said. Byproduct, the career growth is a byproduct. If
Yes,
you focus on the result and you start using LinkedIn to achieve the result, then you might end up uh, the how will be wrong.
correct.
So exactly, thank you so much, Gauri. This was also very important for the entire population because we are losing the patience and people are still running after the short term results of एक job मिल जाए, एक बार
Yeah,
कुछ हो जाए, and they end up spoiling connections rather than building connections,
correct.
right? So Gauri, this was one question, and before we have got one question from Jigar. So I also know that you have a hard stop in next 7 8 minutes. So I would first take this question from Jigar. How can we justify and convince organization on pursuing a technical course or MDPs? I don't know what is MDPs. If you
Yeah,
are
management development programs. Yes.
management development and investing in self growth, it requires significant investment.
Yes, and it's not only that. And Jigar, first of all, I'll congratulate you on the thought that you want to invest in yourself, and you want to learn. You want to go for technical courses or MDPs. Yes, definitely they are expensive. So two things I would say here. One, never think that it's only organization's responsibility to help you grow, and in today's time we need to keep aside some part of our earning, just like we invest in stocks and we invest in mutual funds and all for a good retirement. We need to spend on ourselves also. We need to spend on upskilling on our own, because things are changing very quickly. Gone are the times when organization will give you one MDP in 5 10 years and you will be good with that. No, you need to invest on yourself. So first, please change the thought process that it's only organization's responsibility. And second, when you realize it's your responsibility as well, you will go with a proposal which will benefit the organization, and you at the same time will show that I am also investing, say, 50% or 40% or whatever of it. So when organizations see both intent and result, because if you learn this, what are you going to give back to the organization? It's all business, right? So when they see both the things, it would be much easier for you to convince your manager for a recommendation. So I would say that it's both sides responsibility. It's not only our organization's responsibility, it is also self responsibility. And keeping aside some percentage every year, that I will invest this much money in my growth, would be very beneficial.
Thank you so much, Gauri. As you answer this question, I would also add something.
Yeah.
When you invest your money, you end up making a right choice about what course you should take. Because I have realized in my professional journey while I was working, when the organization proposes something, you do not try to justify or you do not try to check whether it is right for me or not. And you just take the course because the
Yes.
organization is proposing. Now, in this case, if it ends up not something which you love to do, then it is a loss for you also and the organization also. So when you are investing some part from your side, you know what, you will end up selecting the right thing. and you will end up taking the exact benefit out of that entire journey. So
Yeah,
more skills
very well
mean
said.
everything. So when you have a stake in it, it is a win-win for both.
Absolutely, yes. Well said.
So thank you so much, Gauri. This was also thank you, Jigar. Thank you so much for this question because this has also become a very critical thing that how to grow with the organization.
Mm.
And this requires a good convincing or a good negotiation skill also when you have to convince people like Gauri to पैसे चाहिए मुझे अपने लिए. So, Gauri, I mean, there are no more questions, but let me ask you this. No more questions from the audience, but I have one question. If I ask you, people in the mid-career journey, what would you suggest them for a sustainable growth in the career? Top three things, top three golden nuggets coming from Gauri.
Yeah, so I would say first thing, as like you said in the beginning, self leadership, and the first tool here would be self awareness, and nothing better than that, irrespective of the level you are at. And when we have to grow, we have to actually go within first, and then we can grow. So identify the areas that you are good at, and identified that the areas that require working with reference to what you are aligning with, because there are so many skills, there is information overload. You need to first be very very focused what you want to do and then start working on it. So self awareness, I would say, extremely critical, irrespective of level. And second, I would say networking. You spoke about it, Purab, already, and no second thought about networking. You have to be knowing people, and you don't have to be expecting returns from them immediately.
Hmm.
That's networking is not that I will reach out to someone and they will start responding. And I have seen, you can help people, the help may not come back from the same person, but it will come from somewhere
Yes.
else. So
Yes.
networking without any expectation, it's a long journey, it's a very very long journey. That is second skill that I would say. And third, I would say, within the organization, having mentors and sponsors. Outside, definitely we are doing, but we forget that inside also is a great place to network, and inside also is a great place to get a sponsor or mentor. When you have that, most of the times how decisions are taken, so there will be a long list of people and we need to filter it out. But at that time, if there's someone who can speak for you, you will
Hmm.
be actually considered for the next level, because most of the times it is, this is not there, that is not there, and so we need to cut, because there is such a long list, so you need to have a
Yes.
multiple parameters. Yeah, so if you have someone inside the organization, it is going to be extremely beneficial. So self awareness, networking, and having sponsorship is what I would say, three things that have helped me, and that would be my mantra.
Thank you so much, Gauri. The last thing you said, okay, I just took a session on visibility.
Hmm.
You are visible only to your manager,
Correct.
then you will not grow. But these decisions are taken with a team of managers. If you are even visible to two or more managers, there is a possibility that you get that opportunity because then they would vouch for you. So
Correct.
start increasing your visibility. And for this, I always say that if you keep working very hard inside your cubicle, you will grow only as big as your cubicle. So come out of it and share your achievements with everybody in a nice way,
Hmm.
right? Maybe that will help you to climb the ladder. It's not only your manager who takes the decision of your growth. In fact, he or she will not take it or
Correct.
does not have all that influence. Even if they want to, they cannot influence everybody for you.
Absolutely.
You have to be a party to it. So that's where it plays a great role. Gauri, I think it was for me, this was awesome. It was really awesome because a few questions which were very important, a real pain area for the mid-career professionals, like career gap and upskilling and the interview questions.
Hmm.
These are very critical nowadays. And the ATS resume. That is also very important. People think that is a magical tool. मेरा तो ATS हो गया पूरा, अब तो बस इंटरव्यू देना है. So
Ah, yeah.
um, these are the some clarity. This clarity is very important when it comes from people like you. So Gauri, respecting your time, we are exactly on time. I don't see any more questions for now. But my request to you is that if I get questions in future, I will get back to you with the questions.
Sure. Anytime. Yeah, and it was wonderful listening to your thoughts as well, because you run a community and you get experiences from the other side of the table as well. So thank you so much for sharing this.
Thank you so much, Gauri. And audience, thank you so much, all those who are watching this. I hope this was helpful. You can connect with Gauri on LinkedIn. She shares awesome posts and a lot of insights, and start networking with her. Don't ask for a job. Thank you so much, Gauri. Have a nice weekend ahead and let's keep in touch. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye.